Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 1090 Jake, man. I'm rocking with y'all, y'all rocking with me. For this video, I'm going to be telling y'all a county jail story of how they tried to hit me with the finesse game. Now, in 2012, before I went to county jail, I was feeling like a badass. I walked inside of the University Mall in North Tampa with a big-ass gun and a pocket full of money. And I walked up to a jeweler that you don't actually have to walk in the store. It's just kind of like a walk through on the corner. And, I'm looking at earrings, I'm looking at rings, chains, whatever. But the jeweler, he isn't paying me any attention. He's not even looking my way. I try to ask him about something. He gave me the hang on a minute, but he wasn't doing anything, you know what I mean? So I drop a couple $1,000s on the counter of this little jeweler station. And then it's like a light bulb goes off in his head. Oh, what can I get for you? What can I help you with? You want to try this on? Da, 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 da. So I'm like, what do I gotta, put it in your face for you to even look my way? Like, you think I'm broke? And he said, oh, no, my friend. So me and my friend, my dog, North Tampa Milo, we walk off. We're like, man, fuck him. Because it's just like, you don't even have respect as a salesman. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if somebody's broke or not. You still greet them. Like, it's not like you getting any love with this boof ass jewelry anyway. You know what I mean? Nobody else is here. Everyone's just walking by. So in the process of that, as I drop the money on the counter, people are looking. Some girl says something about, oh, he must be doing drops, which is referring to tax fraud, because tax fraud was popping in the city at the time. But we moved on, and I'm feeling myself because I'm flossing the money in the mall, and I'm flossing it because I got this big stupid ass gun. Nobody's gonna try to take my shit because I'm young, dumb, and ready to blow this motherfucker, you know what I mean? So I go over to the other jeweler, Bugatti. And if you're from Tampa, you know about University Mall, then you know about the jeweler Bugatti. They got all the iced out shit in there. Rappers have been in there. I think he used to have Tom G on his cards back in the day. So we go inside of there. And when you first walk into Bugatti, right to the right is where they have all the earrings. And you go all the way down to the counter, like the register. That's where they have like the $40,000 iced out pendants and all that crazy shit that I can't afford. But I'm looking at the earrings. And if y'all remember Icebreaker's gum, the little cubed gums, that's what these earrings looked like. They weren't the flat squares that everyone was getting, the blocks. These were legit fucking blocks. They looked like little Lego blocks, you know what I'm saying? But every single face was covered in diamonds and it had white gold. So I bought them. They were like $200 to $2,500, you know what I mean? I buy these earrings, I pop them in, I'm feeling like the shit. So we end up leaving, and fast forward, I end up getting locked up with the same gun I was walking around in the mall with. And when you go to intake inside of the county jail, you have to give them all your possessions before you actually strip out. So your belt, your phone, anything else that you have, earrings, jewelry. I had my G-Shock watch. You got to give it all to them, and they put it on a cardboard, basically like a cardboard piece of paper, and then they vacuum seal it on top. When I got caught, I had $500 or $600 on me. They put it in a machine and it gets transferred over to your kiosk account, so you can start using that money immediately to buy a canteen, get a radio going, you know what I'm saying? Like, it goes straight over to your account. If you got enough, you can actually, bond out of there, but I didn't have enough of that. So included in my property was these, $200 to $2,500 earrings. I had it vacuum sealed inside of my shit. And then I had to switch out my clothes. I went through Orient, then I got transferred over to Falkenberg, which is the main jail. Orient at the time, you only stayed there if you were gonna be in the kitchen dorm. It was more or less like an intake side. And in some of the units, like the kitchen dorm, they actually had cells in there. Everywhere else in Hillsborough County Jail is wide open. It's open bay except for confinement. So when I get put inside of my first dorm in Falkenberg, the Tampa rapper Tay-Bay was in there. He slept in the back right by the wall that went out to rec, which is just like a concrete little caged in area that we can walk through freely. And other than that, there wasn't too many people that anyone else would know, unless you're from the city. Mimi from Robles Park, he was in my little quad area. I had a dude named Philly that had a big ass scar in his hand. He got shot with an AK or something, and he couldn't really use his hand. He was kind of like crippled with it, and people used to make fun of him about that, but I'm gonna get into that. Then there was this either Puerto Rican or Cuban, I'm leaning towards Cuban guy, named Pitbull. Pitbull, he was funny as hell. One of those type of dudes that when they smile, you can tell they got that crackhead teeth, you know what I mean? Like that, and the teeth are all crazy looking and shit. But he had one of those laughs that was contagious, and it didn't matter who he was around, everybody was gonna laugh. Pitbull was from Cross Fletcher somewhere. I don't remember the exact street because they're all numbered streets. But he was from Cross Fletcher, and he had those crackhead type vibes. He must have been like 30, maybe 33 at most. I'm 18 at the time. But Pitt was funny as hell. He used to just ride people all day. And if you don't know what that means, before you start saying crazy things in the comments, it's roasting each other. He's chewing, you know, he's making fun of people. He used to make fun of Philly, saying he had a little crab hand because Philly couldn't close his hand because the bullet pretty much knocked out all the nerves inside of his hand. And Pitt was just crazy. Like, when you walk into the bathroom, we got little dividers on the toilet, so, you know, you're not staring at each other. You can sit down and you got this little divider right here. But anyone walked in while Pitbull's in there, you know, taking his shit, he'd be like, hey, don't look me in my eyes, I'm pushing. And motherfuckers would just die laughing like, man, this man's psych. Like, we ain't even gonna be in the bathroom at the same time as him. Don't look at me, I'm pushing. This dog was crazy as hell, you know what I mean? But he was entertainment. And inside a county jail, a week feels like a month. If you ever wanna extend your life, go to county jail in Hillsborough County. It's the most boring fucking place. I heard Jacksonville's even worse. They don't even have TVs. We got TVs, but all the shows suck. Everything just moves so slow. There's no freedom. You're in this big ass room. You got like 80 something people in here with you. There's no privacy. And yeah, I mean, you get to talk, but not everyone speaks with each other. You know what I'm saying? Not everyone is friendly. But as you get used to it, you'll start having conversations with different people, and I'm talking to mad different people. And Pitt was always in everyone's circle. He was always in everything. He was a card player, but he never had enough money to actually gamble. So one day we were talking about whatever, and somehow I brought up, you know, the earrings. I'm telling him how I was doing this, that, and the third, and I was getting money out there, and I had these raw earrings, and how they got them inside a booking, and I hope they don't lose or take my shit. And he's like, oh, you got them in booking? I'm like, yeah. He's like, so it's in your property? I'm like, yeah. He's like, have you released your property to anyone? I'm like, nah. So already I'm like, what is this man getting at? Because you can't, it's one thing if somebody goes into a job interview with a suit and tie. It's another thing if they go in there all tatted up, looking crazy, got blood stains on their clothes, a pocket knife hanging out. The person's gonna be like, you know, who the fuck is this? And then when you start telling them, oh yeah, I worked here, I worked there, they're not really gonna believe none of that. The only thing they're gonna be thinking of is criminal record. And that's how I'm looking at him. Like, what are you getting at? Because you really don't think I view you like one of them dudes that stand outside the 7-Eleven asking for change of cigarettes and then get mad when your ass walk out with a bag full of shit. Like, I know he's on to something. But this is how you learn. This is chess with words. This is how you start getting adapted to people trying to say certain things that will bring certain things out of you. And you realize that every conversation becomes so fucking tactical that when you're really speaking with somebody that knows how to speak, they'll pick up on what you're doing and they'll tell you, hey, I know what you're doing, but you're not on my level. You know what I'm saying? This is how you learn finesse, by having stupid motherfuckers trying to finesse you. And then when you reverse it, you want to make sure that they don't ever pick up on what you're trying to do. But more or less, he gets to telling me the story about, you know, how he's been in county jail a million times. And what he'll do is he'll buy these big ass TVs. When he gets locked up, he has his girl pawn them, get the money, bonds them out, and then he pays off the bondsman, right? So he's telling me he's about to get out soon. And the plan that he laid out was, look, you're my dog, I fuck with you. Yeah, alright. I'm dogs with everybody that I give change to, right? He's like, you're my dog, I fuck with you. When I get out, I'm gonna give you my number before I go home. And what you can do is, if you put in a request, I can pick up your property for you. I'll take the earrings, pawn them. I'll bond you out, and then we'll be good from there. Now, my bond, I don't even remember what it was, because at this time, I think I was already hit with all of my charges. So I had like 20 felonies, 1 misdemeanor. I mean, my shit wasn't sweet. But he's just trying to, they'll get you out. You just got to put something down. It's nothing major, da-da-da. And then there's only a percentage that you actually have to pay in Florida. So if it's like you got a $10,000 bond, you got to pay like $1,000. You know what I mean? So I'm just telling him like, yeah, that shit sound good, bro. That shit, all right, yeah, that shit sound good. Because I'm not going to fall for that fuck shit. I know obviously what you're trying to do. You're going to get the fucking earrings. And you're gonna dip with my shit. Now you're gonna be rocking these little icy blocks, and I'm gonna be inside the county jail mad as fuck. And every time I call this little fake ass number, nobody's gonna pick up. So he went home. I never seen him again. And obviously I did not fall for the finesse game. Now in another situation, this was with a totally different person. This dude was a gambler. I didn't gamble, but I had a lot of canteen at the time. And we used to play chess. We never had issues. We spoke on the little rec yard and shit. You know, we ate at the same table a couple times before. We're playing chess. I'm winning. I'm winning. I mean, I've been playing this dude for weeks. You know what I mean? It started off with him whooping me, but then I started to win. And he's like, man, what's up? You gonna put some money down on the table? I'm like, man, all right. So I put a little something on the table. He puts a little something on the table. It was like a super 2. It wasn't nothing major. You know what I mean? So we got it going. 4 soups on the table. We play. I win. We play again. He's like, all right, let me play for my money back. He puts another 2 down. I'm already up 4. So I bet another 2, which is really just his 2. I'm playing with his money now. I win again. It's not uncommon. I've won before. You know what I mean? But this is where the finesse comes in. He's like, all right, let's double it up. I'm going to put 5 soups in. You put 5 soups in. Now, I've already taken 4 soups from him. So it isn't really that big of a deal. But I put the 5 down. He puts the 5 down. I get smashed. And he flat out tells me, listen, don't ever let anybody hustle you in here. You think you're good until there's money on the table. And what they're going to do is they're going to let you win a few times until there's actually something on the table that's worth something. And then they're going to bust your head. And what's going to happen is you're going to feel played. You're going to feel like they tried you and they really did. And what leads from there is violence. You're going to feel like they did some sneaky shit, and that's exactly what they did. And you're going to want to react to it. And if you don't play him back for his money, if you take his money and walk off, he might feel like you're trying him. And now his whole plan of finessing you just backfired on him, which can result in you getting robbed. And literally what bro did, and I salute him to this day, is he taught me not to fucking gamble. He taught me the ins and outs of how people will find themselves in these situations where somebody will let them win and then they'll sky them for all their money. Or maybe you'll come up and now you're getting robbed. They're sticking you up. They feel some type of way, or you feel some type of way. Now you're getting into a fight and there's unnecessary violence behind somebody trying to finesse you and play you for the money. Everything inside of jail and inside of prison is tactical. Everything is chess. Everything is a swift move. Everybody's trying to play creep and play up under each other. Loyalty is fake as fuck unless you're actually going to war. That's the only time you're going to find out who's really solid, is when you go into war. When you're in little pussy camps and you're just hanging out, gambling and doing this and that for money, everybody's just snaking each other. And that's when you really realize how many people are actually snakes. But the people that will sit down and teach you the game, that will teach you the ins and the outs, the ropes of how this shit work, those are the real ones. And for many, especially me, I never met anybody that was an adult older than 25, 30, 40 that was actually sitting down with me on the street and teaching me this type of shit. But I ran into a lot of solid individuals when I was inside a county jail and while I was inside a prison that looked out for me in ways that they were able to give me knowledge. But when somebody gives you knowledge, it's up to you to actually apply it in life. They can bring you to the gym, but they can't make you lift a weight. They can tell you how to cook, but they can't make you eat. You know what I mean? And in the county jail that I was in, it wasn't as violent as other county jails. Sure, you had some people get robbed. Some people got beat up. It was mostly one-on-one fights. All that means is the tactics are going to be verbal. The tactic, it's going to be finesse. And you got to be able to really battle it out mentally. You got to show mental strength, because any sign of weakness can make you a target in more ways than just physical. But hey, it's 1090 J. I hope y'all enjoyed the story. I'm rocking with y'all. Y'all rocking with me. Till next time.